At one point she was visiting and went to see my kindergarten and was so awful to my mom in public that another mom and teacher were appalled.
No, don't like that.
Hello there. Don't want to make anyone wait any longer, so real quick, welcome to Reddita, where we shamelessly ask you to subscribe and like the video if you enjoy it, and where we say to smash the bell and hate ourselves for it while we go down an existential crisis mentally that slowly eats away at you day after day, video after video, late night of editing after late night of editing, until one day they find you on the roof barking at traffic with your underwear on your head blasting turn down for what from a speaker stuck in your, whoa, sorry, blacked out there for a second. Anyway, on with the video. Enjoy. /just no mother-in-law. Just found out my grandma is the just no mother-in-law.
This is the worst.
So I'm not 100% sure that this fits here, but I wasn't super sure where else to post this. So I'm a 16-year-old girl, and when I was really little I thought my mom and my dad's mom hated each other. My mom always told me they didn't, so I thought it was just some weird idea I had as a kid, that moms and their mothers-in-law had to hate each other. Well, yesterday I went downstairs to see if my dad wanted to get food, but he was gone, and only my mom was home, and she was really upset. Apparently she'd gotten in a fight with my dad about Christmas. Because of corona my mom assumed we weren't going to upstate New York, we live in Virginia 7 hours away, to visit my grandma and my aunt, like we do every year, minus my mom who never goes, because of reasons I'll get into, but my dad said we'd actually be leaving the Sunday after Christmas, and coming home Tuesday. My mom got mad, because my sister is in college, so she never gets to see her, and wanted to actually be able to spend time with her before my dad took us to go see my grandma, and my dad got really mad saying that we have to go right after Christmas, because his mom looks forward to this every year, and that my mom is just spiteful. After I found that out I started putting pieces together and asking questions, and turns out my grandma has been a horrible JustNoMil all along. Some stories include trying to take over my mom's wedding. Apparently the first Thanksgiving after my mom and dad got married she decided to go stay with them in their tiny 2-bedroom apartment right of base. My dad used to be military and had a conversation with my mom about how excited my mom was about cooking Thanksgiving dinner for my dad. Well, my mom had to work because she was young and hadn't finished grad school, so the place she was working made her work holidays, and when she got home at like 4 to cook dinner she came home and the apartment was a mess and my grandma has cooked dinner. My mom was furious because she'd been excited to do that, and my dad and grandma ended up screaming at her that my grandma was doing something nice for her and to appreciate it, and my mom ended up not eating and locking herself in the bedroom. My aunt was there too and apparently did nothing and just watched. When I was in kindergarten my grandma came up to visit us, but on really short notice, so my mom had errands and plans for the days leading up to Thanksgiving that she couldn't change. So she took me and my sister and went and saw the movie she had tickets for with us, and did errands. Then my dad called and demanded my mom bring his kids home because she was keeping his kids away from his mom, and it wasn't fair. Apparently my mom has been married to my dad for 31 and still thinks if it came down to her or my grandma and aunt he would choose them. My mom claims they don't hate each other anymore because my mom wrote her a letter apologizing to my grandma and taking the blame for all the psycho shiz my grandma did, and my grandma I guess thought she won and stopped doing crazy shiz for the most part, but so much makes sense now. Also, when I was little my mom hated how my dad would just take me and my sister and drive 7 hours, leaving her alone for like 3 days to visit his mom, and that meant my mom wouldn't get to do all the Christmas activities she wanted. At one point she was visiting and went to see my kindergarten and was so awful to my mom in public that another mom and teacher were appalled. I just can't look at my grandma the same way anymore. I mean, she's my grandma, but I've never liked spending time with her. She is really dirty and unsanitary and never washes her hands. She's clingy and needy and her house is dirty and full of spiders. On top of that she doesn't have anywhere for us to sleep, so every year for 3 days I sleep on a recliner, my dad on the couch, and my sister on a toddler bed I don't even know why she has. That's apparently why my mom stopped going, because she got in a fight with my grandma, who told her never to come back to her house, and even when they got over it, she never went back because there's nowhere to sleep and it's dirty. And it's not like she's stopped doing this stuff. A few years ago, when I'd go up to visit my sister and I would sleep at my aunt's instead because it was slightly cleaner and she had 2 big couches we could sleep on, and I was actually able to shower at her house. But last year, when my dad was asking us where we were going to sleep, he didn't give us the option of my aunt's and made us sleep at my grandma's. According to my mom, she got offended we slept at my aunt's instead of her house and pitched a fit, so now we aren't allowed to like sleeping at my aunt's more than her house. I just can't believe I never knew about any of this, and now that I do know I can't get over it. I know most of this stuff happened a long time ago and not even to me, but my mom, but like it's my mom. I mean, I don't see eye to eye with my mom on basically anything, but she's my mom and I'm always gonna be in her corner, and I just can't believe my dad just would take us against my mom's wishes to another state to visit his mother, who is horrible to my mom. Maybe it's because I never really liked my grandma anyways, but now that I know this stuff too, I have no desire to ever see or be nice to her again. She still orders my mom around and is entitled, just not to me or my sister, and my mom doesn't want to fight, so she just goes with it, and my dad sees no problem with this. There's no way for me to get out going to see my grandma this year even with corona, but I just can't stand her anymore, and I do not know how I'm expected to treat her the same. Though TBF, my dad doesn't know I know. I figured since this stuff my grandma has done to my mom is similar to stuff that is won here, maybe this was the place to vent all this new information about my grandma that I don't know what to do with. Edit. I don't think I worded it very well, but we stayed home for Christmas Day. We left for New York 2 days after. My sister and I got a sort of win by getting to sleep at my aunt's instead, and my grandma, and it turns out she hates my grandma too, and knew about all the shiz from years ago when my mom told her after my grandma crashed our family Disney World trip. I could update on what happened or talk about other things I found out my grandma did, but from what I can tell this sub is meant for people with sucky mills, and I don't know if it would be right for me to take time away from the other people to talk about my grandma. Other edit. My dad isn't abusive. He's stubborn and oblivious to his mom's bad behavior and sometimes doesn't know where the line is with his cheesing, but he's a good dad and not abusive in any way to any of us. I'm not happy with him right now, but I don't super like him being labeled as abusive. After reading some comments, I think he's in the fog. He's not abusive, he's an enabler, just like my aunt. My grandma treats my aunt like a child and is super clingy and needy towards my dad. He had a rough childhood, his dad was mentally ill and couldn't work, and they lived in poverty. His mom was the reason his family got through that, and I think cause of that he can't comprehend her doing anything wrong. So he tries to rationalize it by saying my mom is overreacting. Also, my mom is also not the best. She also had a rough childhood, and she and all her siblings were raised to always need to have the upper hand in relationships. So she'll do things like get mad about little things to get her way, but mostly apologizes and feels bad after a little bit. I've noticed my dad folds to my mom really easily and gets mad at me and my sister for setting her off, and I think it's cause he's used to enabling my grandma that he also enables my mom a little bit, who definitely has some mental health and control issues. It's just when it comes down to picking between them, he sides with his mom, if that makes sense. I think there's maybe a lot more going on than I realize, cause I find out crazy new stuff about both sides of my family's dirty laundry all the time. But yeah, that's sort of what I figured out.
Mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball!
Whoa, you made it to the end? Nice. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. Do you guys think this is real or fake? Anything I can do better? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Hey look, I didn't have to talk about needing to smash that cowbell to get notified when the daily video drops. Damn. Every damn time. Sorry guys, I suck. You the champ for still watching though. Have a wonderful day.
Select